Right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Thai Talk with Dan. Now, today I'm going to try something that I've never ever tried before because I have a huge backlog of your stories that I need to share on the channel. But I've been uploading less and less, and I've promised myself this month I'm going to do a lot more. So today I have tasked myself with making 4 videos, and hopefully I will be done by the time I go to pick up my son from school at 3:30 this afternoon. It is now 9 a.m, so it's time to kick off. Now guys, normally we share stories about foreign men that get involved with Southeast Asian women. Mainly Thailand, but some from the Philippines, some from Cambodia, and even some from Vietnam. Now today's story, we're going to flip the script and we're going to speak about a woman in her 50s who decided to come all the way to the Philippines to meet her new man. However, this man is looking good, he's in shape, and he's 16 years younger. What could possibly go wrong? So without further ado, let's get into today's Filipino story. Hi Dan, Happy New Year. I really enjoy your videos on YouTube, being a follower for a very long time. Although I am a Caucasian woman and I have not been involved with a Thai man, I have been involved with a Filipino. And the reason why I am writing is that I have not heard from him for about 8 years, and now he has come back into my life with a bang. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. I am just curious to know what your viewers will think about this guy and if I should believe him. So, I was working in Asia, starting my life over at age 50, and after I had been there for 1 year, I received a message from this handsome Filipino of 16 years younger than I was. My immediate reaction was that I did not trust his face and that I was not at all interested in younger men. I sent him a very harsh message that I was too old, sick, and had no money, and that I suggest he rather find someone of his own age. A year later, I had just come back from a wonderful Thai vacation and put a new profile picture on my Facebook when I received another message from this guy. He begged me if he could have a Skype call with me. I give him the evil eye and still had a bad feeling that he was just trouble. But then I reminded myself to be more open-minded, not bitter, and give the guy a chance, seeing that he had tried again after a year. I suggested I would talk to him the afternoon of the next day, and once I had talked to him on Skype, I totally fell for him. He is very good looking, health conscious, very well built and body conscious, and was not put off by my overweight body and health issues. He even offered me loads of health advice and kept contact regularly and inspired and supported me with my health and weight issues. After a year and a half of talking, love bombing me, etc. online, I visited him in Luzon. Now, when I arrived, he was nowhere to be found at the Manila airport. Then when I phoned him, he said he was standing outside and that he was avoiding the media. I was a little thrown by what that meant. He looked amazing, in shape and very well dressed. But he was a little cool compared to how he was when we were talking online. Then we had to overnight at a small hotel because his home was still 6 hours drive from Manila. He did not seem to be interested in touching me or getting closer to me in the bed, which I found very strange. We left very early the next morning to his home. On our way to his home, he asked me to lie about my background and to say that I was a diamond dealer from the country where I was born. I did not answer him, but thought to myself that there was no way I was going to lie about who I was. Now his brother is in politics. All the brothers inherited farms and property from their late father, who was in politics too. When we were at his home, he took as much time as possible to get to the bedroom at night. He tried to avoid the situation. When I asked him about him, he said it's because of his religion and that he needs time to get used to me. Not at all the Casanova who was wooing me online. He treated me like a queen when we were alone at his home, cooked for me and spent time with me, but never touched me or did anything romantic. Asked me never to wash the dishes, he would do it all for me. He said he would do anything for me, and he did, if you know what I mean. I told him I flew very far and was expecting the jiggy jiggy. The time spent in bed and doing the deed was a waste of time. It felt like I was with a robot. When I complained, he said it is due to his religion and that he needed time to get used to me. He said it was his culture to spoil a woman and do everything for her, cooking, cleaning, the dishes, etc. When we were in public, he kept his distance. He never touched me. We never went anywhere on a date in public. Only went to a few places, but then his brother's wife and about 5 kids always went with us. A security guard, who was also the driver, went everywhere with us. This is the same guy that was love bombing me and showing off his whole self, if you catch my drift. On the internet, he was a completely different person. It was like I was being with a totally different person. I picked up on all the little red flags, but I thought I was going to take it in my stride and make the best of the situation and get to know the culture, as this was a very unique opportunity that had befallen me. I focused on absorbing the new culture. Now I was mesmerized by the environment, the culture, the food, and did not know how to process what was happening. At one point, I confronted him and told him, "You don't love me." But he said, No, it's not you, it's me." I was convinced he was not attracted to me and not in love with me, that he was just playing games. I met his brother and sister-in-law, bonded with his family and their children, but I made no attempt to bond with his own 2 daughters, who were born out of wedlock. His marriage was supposed to be annulled, and I took him by his word for it. The mother of his 2 daughters was working overseas and had already had another baby with a new man. He did insist that I meet his daughters and his mum, who at first did not greet me when he was not around. But when he introduced her to me, she made an effort. We spent the days cooking my country's food and his country's food for each other and watching videos together. When he took me back to the airport the day I left, all the kids went with us for the 6-hour drive to Manila. As I landed in the other country where I was working, I saw a message on his sister-in-law's Facebook. His ex-wife posted a photo of him. Her and his current Filipino girlfriend, and all the kids apparently celebrating the girlfriend's birthday in Manila. I was totally shocked. It broke my heart and I was furious. Now, his explanation was that the girlfriend would never marry him because in the Filipino culture, her family would never allow her to marry a man who has 2 kids out of wedlock, and that this was the reason that he was looking for a foreigner wife. Basically, I felt like I was his second choice, maybe his 10th choice. I wrote him many long letters and spelled it out how crazy the whole situation was, and that I was of the honest opinion that he had mental problems. 8 years later, in the meantime, he is now also in politics, has done very well for himself. Many years have gone by. I actually hoped he would find a Russian girlfriend, as there are so many working in Manila. I was convinced that he would forget about me and that he would leave me alone. But about 1 month ago, he started video calling me and love bombing me again. He assured me he was coming to my home country to meet my family and friends, and that he loved me. At first I was happy to see him, but as time went on, all the emotions and hurt from the past came up, and I could not help myself, and I started writing long letters to him, how he had hurt me, and that I did not trust him, and that he was no good. He made a huge success of his professional life, but cannot make a success of his own personal life. So I let him know that I hoped he flew right past my home country, and that I wished him well and hoped he would find someone else to marry. But for some reason, I feel sorry for him. The whole situation is crazy. I know many people would say I am crazy for even holding on and even writing to you. I do love him. I did fall in love with him. I would also like to hear what the viewers think of my situation and if this is how Filipino men are normally, or is there something wrong with this guy? Please do not mention my name, Dan, and thank you very much. Well guys, there you go. There you have it. It's not just older gentlemen that are falling in love with pretty young girls in Southeast Asia. It's also older women falling in love with younger, handsome guys. What do you think about this situation and this story? Please let this subscriber know down below in the comments. For me, guys, when I was reading out the story, I could really sense that this guy was trying to hide this woman as best as he could, maybe because he was married or had a girlfriend or was too embarrassed to be seen by the locals with an older foreign woman. And it turned out that he did already have a girlfriend. Now, the bizarre thing is, 8 years on, and he still decided to contact her. For me, I would say it's all about a visa. He literally went online, love bombing, so to speak, foreign older women. He's a handsome younger guy, and I bet he was just trying to get a visa to get into this woman's country, probably to then bring his family along. So it would have been a disaster. He's not been able to do that within that 8 years. So now he's come back knocking on her door because he knows there's a chance, because she loves him, there's a chance of him getting back together with her and hopefully fulfilling his dreams of a green card or a visa to get into this woman's country. However, I could be wrong, guys. It could be real love. Hey, what do you think? Let us know down in the comments. Right, guys, I've got a long day ahead. I am, this month, going to get through this massive backlog of your stories. I still get emails every single day with questions and stories. So there's a lot for me to get through, and I've decided that I need to start working a lot harder, being a lot more active on this channel. So if I can get 4 videos done today, it will be a good start to kick off the new year, as I hope to continue it. So let's see if I accomplish it. Guys, if you want to share your own Thailand story or your own Southeast Asian story, then get your email sent in to thaitalkwithdan@gmail.com. buriramhotels.com. Right, guys, on to the next story. I'll see you in a moment. Ciao for now. Bye bye.